So in the last talk, we showed how the breakdown of numbers from the celestial years plotted in human years allowed us to go to a model of the star map. One thing that I didn't have quite right in the last talk, and I couldn't get my head around it quick enough to put it into the talk, was just the setup of the two movable triangles here. So now that I've got them in the right position, I just want to show you what that looks like. So we look at plane 6, which goes 2, 4, 6, 8, 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. So we follow this on the black outside numbers to start with: 2, 4, 6, 8, 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. And then from there we circle back down through the green numbers here, the second row, and that gives us the 7th plane: 4, 8, 3, 7, 2, 6, 1, 5, 9, 4, 8, 3, 7, 2, 6, 1, 5, 9. And then from there we switch back again and go 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 on the purple numbers here, which is the 8th plane. From there we go back to the black numbers here, 8, 5, 3, 1, 8, 6, 4, 2, 9, and circle back anti-clockwise on the green numbers for plane number 10. And finally for plane number 11, that's clockwise again on the purple inside row of numbers. So that helps the 3 and the 6 to stay in the same position. But already for me, the fact that those kind of map onto each other, where we can see going in these directions, we see all these sets of number formations, that already is quite an impressive little trick, really. So what have I done over here? A little model I've prepared here, and that is to show here is the numbers for in anti-clockwise going round for plane number 6 in black, plane number 6, and going clockwise in the other way, just as we see it here, in fact, on the black numbers, and then going this way on the green numbers. Should have done it in green. We've got the 4, 8, 3, 7, 2, 6, 1, 5, 9 of the 7th plane in the red numbers. So one thing that I was interested in is, okay, these triangles are moving, but the 4, for example, moves from here to here. To move from the 6th plane to the 7th plane, the 4 has to get from there to there. So this 4 needs to get to there. Obviously it's already there because I've given it onto the next level, but so that is a rotation round to there of 120 degrees to get to there. But on the other hand, if we look at the 2, for example, that's the 2 hiding under the line there. The 2, if he was to turn 120 degrees to get to his starting place, he would need to turn anti-clockwise. He would turn anti-clockwise 120 degrees. Now, the 2, we could say they both turn clockwise, which would mean that the 4 would go from here to there, and the 2 would have to go all the way around to there, which is still 240 degrees. Obviously the 120 degrees, route number 3, 240, route number 6. So, this also seems like a good response. But then let's assume that they're moving at the same speeds. Then this is going to get there in half the time that it would take the 2 to get there. So if the 2's doing 240, then maybe it would make more sense that the 4 as well would do 240 degrees to get there at the same time to there. And then they'd arrive at their new formation at the same time. But when we look at it like that, either way, if they're going to move and they're going to move at the same pace and they're going to make the new formation for the sequence at the same time, they need to move in opposite directions. That's the global conclusion that I came up with. for that. So I hope that that was easy enough to follow. And now we're going to take a little closer look at the actual star map itself. Now that we've determined that the more agreeable symmetric option on this is that they move in opposite directions. So let's have a look what happens when these triangles move in opposite directions. So the first stage, we're going to move, this is the 147 triangle, he's going to go clockwise, and the 258 triangle is going to go anti-clockwise. And when they move through just 20 degrees here, what we get is we get the perfect form of a 6-pointed star. So I'm going to backtrack a teeny bit here, and I just want to have a look here, and what you can see is that the two numbers that come together to make this point here, you've got the 7 and the 5, which equals 12. You've got the 4 and the 8 added together equal 12, and you've got the 1 and the 2 added together, which equal 3. Obviously the roots of 12 are also 3. So we could talk about this point of the 6-pointed star, Star of David if you like, is 3s, all 3s. Look over on this side, it's 4 and 2, which is a 6, 1 and 5, which is a 6, 7 and 8, which is 15, 5 plus 1 equals 6. And down the bottom here, 8 plus 1, 9, 7 plus 2, 9, 4 and 5 equals 9. So as they draw together to create the perfect 6-pointed star, we know that the actual accumulative value of this point is 3, this point is 6, and this point is 9. So it's an inverse of this guy basically. So our two triangles would then continue to move in clockwise and anti-clockwise through another 20-degree turn, and then what we get is we get our 9-pointed star that gets recreated. If we keep the sequence going, they continue moving clockwise and anti-clockwise. This 7 started up here, the black 7 at the top, and he's gradually moving down, and they're now about to do 120 degrees now. And before, well, let's go all the way. So what's going to happen there is they cover each other once now, and then they cover also the 369 equilateral triangle. So now we've got all 3 triangles compounded together, and we get our triangle, equilateral triangle. But let's have a quick look at the numbers before they come into the triangle formation. So on this side now we've got the 1 and the 5 together, which is a 6, 4 and 2, which is 6, 7 and 8, which is 15, which equals 6. So this point here, we could talk about it being a 6 point, but we've already got the 3 there now, so it's really a combination of the 3 triangles. So we've got a 6 and a 3, which is a 9, so this is a 9. At the 6 point here, the 6 triangle, we get a 1 and a 2, which is 3, and the other 2 numbers give 3s as the root numbers. So this is 3 plus 6. So the compounded number here is a 9 as well. And at the top here, it's 4 plus 5, 9, 1 plus 8, 9, 7 plus 2, 9, 9 plus 9 is 18, 1 plus 8 for the root number is 9. So this also is a compounded number of 9. So we've got 9, 9, 9 when they form together, and we get the triangle. So they continue their journey one more time, and they travel through another 40 degrees, and we get back to the 9-pointed star. Now there's another interesting feature which I'll just point out on this one for now, is that when they move back, the 3-pointed star is a symbol of wholeness. We've now kind of done a cycle where they form the 6-pointed star, and then they actually formed another 9-pointed star. Then they formed the triangle, which is 3 points of a triangle, and then they reformed a 9-pointed star. And originally we started with a 9 anyway. So in some ways there, they've completed a full cycle, if you like. Although our numbers aren't back into the original positions. But there's something interesting also just to point out here. And that is between the 9 and the 3, we get a 12 on the green numbers. Between the 3 and the 6, we get an 18 on the purple numbers there. And between the 1 and the 6 and the 9 here, we get a 1 and a 5 in black, which is 15. And people who have already read the book, this is when we open up into a more expanded awareness. So, you know, the triangle is really quite internal awareness, and the 9-pointed star is external awareness. And again, people who have read the book, you will also know that the 12, 15 and 18 are 3, 6 and 9 in the next series of numbers. You've got 0, well, you got 1 to 9, and then from 10 to 18 is the next block of 9 numbers, and in those numbers the 12, 15 and 18 are the 3, 6 and 9 root numbers. And this is us opening up into the not just the internal dimension, but also to the world that's all around us. So, and this is also symbolized as the compounded tetrahedron, which is 3 tetrahedrons compounded together, which actually gives 12 points as opposed to the 9-pointed star. And the 3 extra points, for me, I consider them to be number 12, 15 and 18. So they're represented here. If we were to keep the 7 moving and the 2 in these directions, again we get the 6-pointed star, which would be a 3, compounded 3 here, compounded 6 here, a compounded 9 here. 9-pointed star again. Here you don't get the 15, 18 and 21. You get reverses. You get 81 and 50, 51 or 21. So they don't make the external connection here. And then here we're about to go back into the triangle. And this is also interesting to point out for people who are following the book. As we're going in, what we're getting here is 18, 72, 45. And they are kind of the celestial numbers. These are the numbers that divide evenly into a 360 cycle on just one single cycle, 360 cycle. And they're kind of the energetic, spiritual aspect of the teaching. They represent that. And then we get the triangle, the Holy Trinity. And then as we move out of that, no longer with the inner focus, then the numbers become 81, 27 and 54. And these are the numbers that make 9, but these are the ones that are now representing the more external, material, physicalized world all around us. These, by the way, do not fit evenly into a 360 degree cycle. They do eventually, but not just 360 degrees. So we're just going to complete the cycle, 9-pointed star again. They're going to come back one more time into a 6-pointed star. 9-pointed star one more time. And then triangle one more time here. And then finally, the 7 and the 2 are back where they started from. If we'd broken that down, it would have been 12 geometric forms, 3 triangles, 3 equilateral triangles, 3 6-pointed stars, and 6 9-pointed stars. One other slightly interesting point to point out is if you look at the layers of the star, there's always 9s. The 2 and the 7, or the 5 and the 4, or the 8 and the 1 are all 9s. The 4 and the 5 on the black here, the 1 and the 8 green, the 7 and the 2, the 3 and the 6 obviously are always 9 at the bottom, 4 and 5 purple, 7 and 2 green, 8 and 1 on the black one. Just to briefly point out that if we'd said the triangles move in the same direction at the same time, well, this is what you get. You get a odd looking 6-pointed star, unbalanced looking 6-pointed star. Then you get another unbalanced 6-pointed star, and then finally you get to your 9-pointed star, and so on and so forth all the way around. You get a couple of odd 5-pointed, 6-pointed stars and 9-pointed stars. So that's the close-up work on that, and so the run goes 9-6, 9-3, 9-6, 9-3, and so on and so forth. And that makes me just want to show you as you're going to see later in this, when there's numbers together which equal 9, it's kind of like there's an inferred number 9 there. So there's 3, 9, 6, 9, 3, 9, 6, 9, 3, 9, 6, 9, 3, 9, 6, and so on and so forth. Because this is just one grid. When we go from 1 to 9, we can also go from 10 to 18, and this sequence just keeps on going. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So 12 on here, 12 geometric forms that we cycle through here. So going through one of these full cycles is like traversing one of these lines here in another way of looking at it. And although I'm not going to go too deeply into this right now because it's more a teaching point than just looking at the model, and this is really to look at the models. So what I've compared this to is like, we're talking about our molecules. We're talking about that this could be something like an atomic particle within us, and that the whole thing is based on energy. And so when our energy, when we're not in sync with the universal energies, then I think we're turning in all muddled up ways, but just for the model, like the two are turning in the same direction, and we're getting odd 6-pointed stars. And when it does finally get round to a 9-pointed star again, which we know is a good formation, but we don't get the 9s like I showed you before. The 8 and the 4 come together to make a 3. These are 3s here now. These are 1 and 2 3s. So there's something that's still not quite right about it. But at this point, this is like, I come back to awareness here now. There's still an opportunity to get off the wheel of unconsciousness at this point. And then if I'm able to get off the wheel of unconsciousness, then things start to spin in the right order. And at this point, I've been spinning out of sync before, so things aren't necessarily perfectly in order at this stage, even when I come to my 9-pointed star. and it takes a while for the process to go. And of course, there's plenty of opportunity in the meantime for me to blimp out again. But we're going to look at that in the next talk. Looking at the star map one more time. So, once again, thanks for watching.